Hello everyone, I'm Forrest McFreelove, and this is Mayan Speedplay number 22. We left off at war with the British Empire, having just lost a major battle. We have two large transport fleets, which we can hopefully just transport around our actual empire. We are colonizing the Philippines, and we have to go ahead and just destroy all of the native populations so that we can colonize the area with Mayan peoples with our correct religion. So we go ahead and just kind of purge the area a little bit. We also have some Britannish forces over in British Brazil, as well as a bunch of peasants. So we raise another army, another couple armies, and just generally take care of all of the issues that we need to, depopulating those natives in the Philippines, which is a good euphemism. We go ahead and just complete all of that for those three provinces we're already moving towards. We move them down to the connecting province. And we're going to seek out British territories just throughout the world. Since we lost that 24 stack, this isn't going to be a quick and easy war against the British Empire, and thus I would prefer to just dismantle their entire, just global empire. If we can pull that off, that'd be great. We get an event where we can basically let everything go well and get a bunch of production, or everything go well and stably, or get production. We go ahead and just let everything go stably since we've had enough problems with rebels. Continuing to just depopulate the Philippines. We have defeated the English rebels. Now we're just going to try to destroy that Britannish force and send our army that we just constructed over to these British islands. We're going to try to be smart about attacking the British home islands this time around, as opposed to what we did last time, which was kind of awful. And we are just shipping our forces over to these various islands. We're probably not actually going to get a worthwhile amount of war score from occupying them, and they don't have any forts, so it might be a bit of an empty gesture. We did destroy the Britannish force, though, so that's great. South America is ours. Empty gesture or not, we do continue with these landings. We also ask for a contribution from our merchants, letting us pay off our one loan, and now hopefully we'll be able to just pay for really just every function of the state with our treasury and just tremendous amounts of income. We're going to go ahead and raise another army. That way we'll have another full army group we can bring over to the British home islands. These areas aren't quite ready yet. We do go ahead and ship two more groups just so that we can continue these efforts to destroy the British forces. We go ahead and pick up one group of soldiers. We're going to go bring them down to Northern Ireland. I realize a risk with that is they might drop to below 1,000 though, and then it would take a month to take over and then the month. So we go ahead and ship 2,000. We get attacked by Britannish forces, so we shovel more troops over. We get an achievement for blockading, which is nice. We can't sue for peace with them just yet, and I realize there's a British army just waiting there, so we don't want to lose those 2,000 men like we lost the 24,000. We go ahead and hire a new general. He's a 2-star general, which is pretty awesome. The Britannish forces attack, we manage to win, and stack wipe them. So we're doing well in our war, at least against Brittany. These troops we bring down to South America. Hopefully we'll be able to stop Aragon from getting too much of a holding. And right, we're just starting to take over these islands. It's probably pretty irrelevant, honestly, but I want them. And it looks like just by blockading Brittany, they're willing to make peace with us. They just give us 70 ducats, but that's not so bad. We could maybe try the same against Austria, but I don't want to try that while we have troops on board, since they might intercept our navy and kill all of them. And at this point, I've learned it's good to be cautious with our forces. We go ahead and split 3 groups of 2,000 infantry each. We're going to drop these troops in various points and bring the remaining transports over near Austria so that hopefully that transport fleet, which is empty, will distract their navy and allow these landings to go on uncontested. That manages to work. We go ahead and drop some forces next to London. This will hopefully distract the British army and pull them down from Scotland near Ireland. So we do that. None of the armies are moving just yet, and we lose the transports, which is kind of unfortunate. We pull the other force away, but move it back, and we are going to commit. We're going to also land on the island that the British Navy is at, so they'll have to decide which one they prefer, and we also just disband that southern army because it will just die. So it looks like the British force goes over to the islands to defend their navy, which hopefully buys us just enough time to take over Northern Ireland. It did. We send our navy up to go pick up the rest of the army, and I realize immediately that it's a terrible idea because all of these ships are needed to stop the British from just walking back over, so we send another group and then just detach our transports from the other navy. So that was nearly just a terrible disaster that would have undone all of our progress. But the world runs off of nearly and almost disasters are really the best kind. At any rate, we go ahead and just drop our army over. We have 2 armies that can now siege out bits of Ireland. We'll bring over a third in just a moment. see what kind of war score it would take to make certain deals, and try to get just all of the British islands and colonies except the African colonies, which would just be too much war score. We try to get everything we can in this war, knock them out of every continent but Europe and Africa. We built another army of 24,000 men. The idea is we're just going to flood Ireland with troops and then fight the British for domination of their home islands. Hopefully once they lose those battles, they'll give in to our demands and just kind of accept that their empire has seen better days. Alright, so, we go and see about Africa, but that just wouldn't work. Everywhere else seems to be already selected, so we're pretty good as far as that's concerned. They're starting to offer us peace deals, but not anyone's really worth taking. And we are continuing to colonize. Really just standard stuff at this point, standard operating procedure for our empire. We go ahead and pluck up this final group of armies. The British chase our navy, manage to intercept it, but we escape without losses, which really is all that matters, and they were empty anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered too much. Alright, we can't peace out with Austria just yet, which is really not that important. It looks as though Uzbeks declared their independence, so that's cool. And we go ahead and just move our forces over to secure Ireland. Once we get our remaining 24,000 men shipped right on over, we will probably see about the ability to do other things. We go ahead and ship these 2,000 men over to the Shetlands, or just various islands. And, oh yeah, the Commonwealth got their independence. So that is nice for Central European politics. The Commonwealth will hopefully just start dominating everybody from now on. We go ahead and drop those 2,000 men onto that British island. Hopefully we will be able to release their fleet and just do some damage to it. We have 2 sieges left, 1 siege left in Ireland, which we'll hopefully resolve fairly quickly, and then go ahead and battle the British forces. We win the battle, but they don't lose anything since the AI has learned not to just let their navy just murder itself, which is a worthwhile but sad lesson for them to have learned. And yeah, sadly that does kind of mean that their navy is not in a place we can easily reach it anymore, which is, just kind of a thing, not good or bad. We go ahead and get the last military idea for quality. We get plus 10% cavalry ability, or not cavalry, I'm sorry, artillery ability, plus 5% discipline. So our armies should hopefully be able to take on the armies of the British Empire if we can just bait them into coming to Ireland, which I think we can do. They do have around 100,000 men on their home islands, which is exactly what we have, so we don't actually want to fight like that, because that would be a terrible disaster if they managed to win it. We would lose everything that we've built up, and we would probably not get another opportunity, or if we do, it would take just as much time. So if we can just bait one of their armies over, that would be absolutely fantastic. We move our forces back to try to taunt them or tempt them. They do start going in just as we get ships nearby. However, they send another army, they're larger of the 2 stacks, and we try to time it so the other can't even get in. We've blocked the coast. We have a month to go take that before they can just get everyone else in. And we meet and just devastate them. Stack wipe 50,000 British troops. That knocked the war score right in our favor, and we're going to carry these other forces up to the north and move over into Scotland proper, hopefully either distracting that British army or making them even come up and attack. Either way, okay, they are coming up to just attack. We'll just bring reinforcements in. We have just naval superiority, so we can bring our full force to bear. And it doesn't even look like we need to bring that 24,000 stack in. So we just dominate those British forces. We could take basically everything outside of Europe right now. However, I would like to get a few more naval bases, especially those islands with the heavy forts. Since we fought for them already, we may as well take them. We go ahead and rearrange our armies so that we have our sieges going. And it looks like we could just make peace right now if we so desired, which honestly I kind of do, since there's not all that much extra we would need from them or really want. Alright, so doing all of that, it looks like we can get a fairly decent peace deal out of it, all of the demands we want. We go ahead and take those. We also take that bit of Northern Ireland so that they can't just march over, and if we go into a future war with them, we can just dominate Ireland and repeat what we did at the end of this war ad infinitum. We also have all the islands off their coasts, so we basically have just ended Britain as a threat forever. Also Brazil at this point, I'm sorry, and that was even like Spanish or something. Brazil has broken their alliance with us, and we have pretty much the largest army in our nation's history, and they are, other than Aragon, the only state other than us in the Americas that isn't a native. So we're going to just bring our forces down, and hopefully destroy Brazil in a quick, easy war, which honestly I don't really doubt we'll be able to do. We just smashed the British, and I figure they probably have the more significant force, although we did really get the odds in our favor for that British war by catching their navy off guard in the very beginning. We do go ahead and just pluck up the remainder of our forces, ship them all down to Brazil, and from here we're just going to march headlong against them. Alright, but that's a story for another time. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day. We will be back tomorrow. It's finals week, so I can't guarantee on time, but thank you for watching and putting up with any delays.